Most people would find it hard to cope with everything he is facing, but Cain has reacted in an extreme way. He has become distant, emotionally closed off, short-tempered, hostile, and even considered ending his marriage because he feared losing his sexual function. Worried he would no longer satisfy his wife's desires, he suggested that they separate. He even claimed he would rather cancel the surgery and risk his life than face the possibility of losing his relationship. Moira remains the stronger and more determined partner in the relationship, dismissing his fears without hesitation and standing firmly by his side for the future. However, her support has not been enough to ease all his worries. The moment of truth finally arrives as the day of the operation comes. Cain and Moira both put on brave expressions while he gets ready for surgery. Meanwhile, Kyle struggles badly with the fear that his father could die. Thankfully, the operation is successful, but when Cain regains consciousness, he is confronted by one of his biggest fears: a catheter and blood in his urine, making him think something has gone seriously wrong. To him, it is a painful reminder of the possibility of permanent incontinence. Jeff Hordley later explains that the situation is not actually as serious as Cain believes. He simply became overwhelmed and failed to properly absorb the medical advice about recovery after the procedure. He's urinating blood, and it terrifies him because he didn't fully take in the information given to him during the appointments before the surgery, he explained. Essentially, Cain is frightening himself unnecessarily. To avoid leaving the hospital, he pretends to still be in pain, but Moira quickly realizes what he is doing and brings in Sarah Sugden to help deal with him. Sarah challenges him over his self-pity and eventually persuades him to return home. However, going home may not be the right solution. The experience has deeply affected Cain, leaving him emotionally unstable and quick to anger. Tension rises when Robert Sugden and Aaron Dingle come to visit, and Cain immediately senses something is wrong. Moira is eventually forced to admit that Robert played a role in her arrest. In response, Cain turns to revenge. He convinces Sam to help him ambush Robert, knocking him unconscious before dragging him to a barn where Cain waits with a hammer, prepared to settle the score. After already feeling like he was losing control of the farm, discovering that Robert was responsible for Moira being sent to prison pushes Cain over the edge. Rage completely takes over, and he gathers the determination to confront him with a hammer. Stories rarely end positively once someone gathers the determination to confront another person with a hammer. Emmerdale's Moira erupts in emotional outburst while hiding huge secret from Cain. Moira Dingle shocked viewers with an angry outburst toward her son during the latest episode of the ITV soap, as she continued concealing an important secret from her husband, Cain Dingle. Fans already know that Cain, who was diagnosed with prostate cancer earlier this year, is preparing for surgery next week, with the couple trying to remain strong together. Before the operation, Moira has chosen not to reveal that Robert Sugden played a part in Joe Tate's scheme to have her sent to prison by planting the ID cards. During the episode, Moira snapped at Isaac for sitting in front of the television while he was unwell. Suspecting he had pretended to be sick to avoid school, she scolded him and insisted he return to apologize to his teacher. When Isaac protested that he would be punished, Moira angrily replied, "Good. That's exactly what should happen. I'm tired of everyone making me feel like a fool. You're being selfish and childish." Not long afterwards, Moira felt guilty for losing her temper and confessed that the pressure surrounding Cain's upcoming operation had affected her more than she realized. She later apologized to Isaac for the harsh confrontation. However, the strain of hiding Robert's betrayal from Cain before his surgery continued to weigh heavily on her. Later that evening, Cain admitted to Moira that he feared the operation could change their relationship, but she comforted him with reassurance. She told him, "No matter what happens tomorrow or what changes come, we'll deal with everything side by side." Scenes airing next week will finally see Cain uncover the truth about Robert, triggering dramatic consequences when he takes the frightened farmer hostage. Jeff Hordley, who portrays Cain, explained, "Cain is absolutely furious. Even though he's recently left hospital and still isn't fully recovered, he manages to summon the energy to grab a hammer, take Sam with him, and secretly head off to confront Robert. Emmerdale's Moira breaks down in fiery confrontation while keeping major truth from Cain. Moira Dingle stunned fans after unleashing her frustration on her son in the latest episode of the ITV drama, all while continuing to hide a serious secret from her husband, Cain Dingle. Viewers are aware that Cain, who learned earlier this year that he has prostate cancer, is due to undergo surgery next week, with both of them attempting to stay positive and support each other. Ahead of the procedure, Moira has decided not to tell Cain that Robert Sugden was involved in Joe Tate's plan to frame her by planting the ID cards that led to her imprisonment. During the episode, Moira lost patience with Isaac after finding him watching television despite being ill. Believing he had faked his sickness to skip school, she reprimanded him and demanded that he return to apologize to his teacher. When Isaac worried he would be punished, Moira lashed out, saying, "Good, you deserve it. I'm fed up with everyone treating me like I'm stupid. You're acting selfish and immature." Soon after, Moira regretted the way she had spoken to him and admitted that the stress surrounding Cain's upcoming surgery had been affecting her more deeply than she realized. She later said sorry to Isaac for her behavior. Still, keeping Robert's betrayal hidden from Cain before the operation continued to leave her emotionally overwhelmed. That evening, Cain opened up to Moira about his fears that the surgery might change the nature of their relationship, but she reassured him that they would face the future together. She told him, no matter what tomorrow brings or how things may change, we'll get through it as a team. Episodes set to air next week will finally show Cain discovering the truth about Robert, leading to explosive scenes as he kidnaps the terrified farmer. Jeff Hordley, who plays Cain, revealed, "Cain is raging. Despite only just coming out of hospital and still feeling far from fully fit, he finds the determination to pick up a hammer, recruit Sam, and quietly go after Robert." Emmerdale's Dr. Todd makes ruthless new move as Jacob faces more misery. Dr. Todd appears set to remain in Emmerdale, with recent scenes and upcoming spoilers suggesting her manipulative behavior is far from over. Unfortunately for Jacob Sugden, the latest developments indicate even more trouble lies ahead after he almost escaped his intimidating boss. Friday's episode saw Dr. Todd make another calculated decision that changed everything. Upcoming scenes also reveal she will continue causing disruption in the village, bringing further drama in the weeks ahead. She is expected to become involved with Vanessa Woodfield, while also clashing with Charity Dingle in a dark blackmail storyline that threatens to create fresh chaos. Earlier this week, Jacob finally reached breaking point after Dr. Todd repeatedly tried to paint him as an unstable and obsessive medical student. Although Vanessa believed Todd's version of events, Jacob's wife Sarah Sugden refused to be fooled. Sarah firmly supported Jacob and promised to confront Todd herself, but Jacob pleaded with her not to interfere. The conflict has effectively turned into Sarah and Jacob against Todd and Vanessa, despite Sarah and Vanessa previously sharing a close friendship. Emmerdale continues on weekday evenings at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and ITVX.